explaining quite a bit of stuff. And we've got, looks like 11 people here with us tonight. Parents that are hopefully looking for places for their kids to play ball and learn more about our program. We'll let Chad start it off. Chad, take it away, buddy.
Awesome. Thanks, Pat. Well, my name is Chad Hermanson. Thank you guys for coming on board at Thursday. Bachelor's over, right? There's life is ceased to exist. My kids and wife are like, what are we going to do now? So we're excited to be with you guys here tonight. We're going to talk about the Legacy Sports Clubhouse, the facility, the school of baseball, the teams we're going to start having, and what Area Scouts is. So I had met Pat over 20 years ago. Pat is up top here. He's the owner and the GM of Legacy Sports Clubhouse. Pat has done lessons, thousands of lessons since '99. Has been doing this for a really long time. I met him back in the day when I was about 20 years old playing in AAA baseball. He asked me to come speak to his little Henderson Sluggers. And that might not mean anything to you, but he had some really good players on that team. Players like Joey Gallo, Chris Bryant, and Joey Rickard. Big leaguers that are in the Vegas Valley. So if you follow the game, you'll know those names. But Pat is the GM of the Legacy Sports Clubhouse. He's the state director of Area Scouts that we will get into. But my name is Chad Hermanson. I'm a former Major League player. I'm a local guy. I was drafted out of Green Valley in the first round in '95 by the Pirates. Played for 13 seasons, a couple teams in the big leagues. I've spent the last 8 years as an area scout for the Angels. I covered Vegas, Utah, Nevada, Southern Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, and Colorado. And I have the Mental Edge business that I had started well over a year ago. But if you ever played the game before, you ever been an athlete or just a live human being, right? You know how important mindset is in the mental game of sports and in life. So I'm going to be very big proponent of developing the mental game with your athlete. I'm working with Northern Colorado's baseball team right now. So having a lot of fun with that. My role with Legacy is an assistant GM, kind of wearing many hats in the organization and being able to help all the players. So the facility, a lot of people ask, where is this place located? So we're all in Green Valley, Henderson area. This Legacy Sports Clubhouse will be on Pecos and a little bit north of Sunset. So this is a furniture store that we're going to turn into a clubhouse. So this is an artist's rendition of what it will look like. We're really excited about it. We are a couple months away from getting into the building. So we're going through the build out process of that right now. This is going to be a huge facility. We're talking over 20,000 square feet, really long cages. We have a lot of parents ask, can we pitch in there? And of course you will be able to. They're going to be 80 feet deep. We call these, instead of calling them cages, we call them fields. And we'll talk about that. We can pull the nets back. We're going to have a separate area for speed and agility and for strength training. And we're going to discuss how that works. We'll be open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. We're going to have adults come in and do classes in our strength center. So that will be open all day in our baseball facility. That kind of part of it, the School of Baseball will start at 4 p.m. In the area, when you bring your kid to the facility, you'll have a parent and guest lounge to be able to kind of hang out. You'll be able to view and watch your player. What does this place look like? Here's what it looks like inside. All the way to the left, you'll see the Sports Performance Fitness Center. That there is just itself 2,500 square feet. So that's where you can't see him, I don't think, but Brandon Bayardi is going to be one of our strength coaches there. In the middle, Pat is an apparel owner. He has his own apparel company. So all of our team members, he's going to be making their uniforms right in this facility here, and we'll be selling some apparel. You'll see the parents' lounge is kind of right here in the middle. We're going to have a wall with a plexiglass that kind of separates the field and the parents, number one, for your safety, but also so we can keep the players focused when they're doing lessons and they're going through the School of Baseball. You'll see we have a big turf area. This whole turf area is 8,000 square feet. We're going to open it up. We're going to have a Fungo Man in there, which is a machine. We're going to have hit tracks, a lot of different things that we're going to be doing inside the facility itself. Okay. So what are we going to be offered with the Legacy Sports Clubhouse? We're going to be doing group training, mental edge, private lessons, and we're a player's facility. So what's the group training? So every Monday through Friday, the weekdays, we're going to be doing the School of Baseball. It's going to be from 4 to 9 p.m. What does that mean? That means that your player, we want them to come in and learn the skills of baseball, obviously hitting, throwing, fielding, pitching, all these skills that are involved, get a lot of reps. That's going to be something we're really big on, getting a lot of reps and doing it correctly. So they'll be there for the first hour doing that. And then for the second hour, we're going to have them do strength and agility. If you can go back there, Pat, great. The mental edge. So again, that's my business. I already do live, bi-weekly live group Q&A calls on Zoom. So I have ages from about the ages of 12 to college that get on Zoom, just like we're doing here. I bring a message to it, and we open it up for Q&A and just really kind of have a dialogue and kind of questions back and forth on how they can apply these lessons in their life. So I'm really a big proponent of that. That's going to be one of my main focuses working with this group. Private lessons, everybody has asked us about that. We will offer private lessons Monday through Friday before our classes start. So up until about 3 or 4 o'clock. Sometimes after, maybe late around 9 p.m. for those older kids that are like high school age kids. And then on the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays will be very heavy on private lessons with our instructors. Now we talk about the players' facility. So this is where we are a little bit different from a lot of the other cages out there, is that we're not a batting cage. You cannot come in and just rent a cage for 30 minutes or an hour. We're not renting this out to teams. This is all about the legacy members and our teams. So you can't just rent out cages. If you are a non-member, we will of course be having camps, clinics, and we do different assessments like hit tracks if you want to get your numbers, things like that. We will offer that to non-members. So who will coach my player? Pat and I have spent about the last 6 weeks or more qualifying and getting coaches to coach your players. We're talking about former major leaguers, former minor leaguers, former minor league managers, college players, college coaches. We have them all already. And we continue to add really weekly to our coaching staff. We'll have about 3 to 5 players running the School of Baseball in the facility during the week. Some of these guys will be instructors that will just stay in the facility, and some of them will be coaches that are just coaches, and a lot of them will be both. Equipment that we're going to be using, this is very big in baseball. Everybody wants their measurements now, so we'll be using hit tracks to get like exit velocities. Hack Attack is a machine that we'll be using. Diamond Kinetics allows you to see your bat path, what that looks like. Fungo Man is something we're really excited about. When we get out on the field, kind of picture a Fungo Man as like if you ever played tennis, balls just shooting out at you, those type of machines. That's what the Fungo Man is. We'll be shooting baseballs all over the field to your players, getting them a lot of reps. Right View Pro is a video analysis. Pat and I will be doing hitting evaluations. That's very big, of course, in baseball. We'll be using V1 Sports video analysis for that. Area Scouts online platform. Pat is going to be going over that in detail here in just a few minutes, so we'll discuss that. But we envision this place as it's designed for the pro player, but it's built for kids. And so the next slide here gives you an idea who some of our coaches are we brought on. Matt DeWitt. Matt DeWitt is a Valley grad. We graduated the same year. He pitched in the big leagues. We were former Little League teammates. We went to 2 World Series together when we were 13 and 15. He's an example of someone who's just going to be a coach. So he's a teacher over at Desert Oasis, and he wants to get back in the game and coach. Cole Farmer is down here below. Cole, good to see, bud. He's a former head coach at Moraine Valley College, and Cole is also a certified trainer, is very knowledgeable in the game, so we're excited to have him. Eddie Rompery, he is a former Detroit Tigers minor league player. He played professionally for 6 years. Brandon Bayardi, you'll see him below. He's a former UNLV standout. He was a senior sign. I actually personally drafted him when I was with the Angels as a scout, and Brandon reached AAA with us all the way to Salt Lake. So he had a very good minor league career. He's going to be working with us on the strength and conditioning side. And then Jordan Bolton is a former Division II player, went to Colorado Christian University. He'll be a coach and instructor for us. Quinn Mack. We just hired Quinn Mack here about 2 days ago. We're really excited to have him. Former major league player, played with the Mariners. He's going to be a coach and an instructor with us. Nick Rickles. Nick just actually recently retired, played all the way up till AAA, and he is actually going to be the catcher for Team Israel. So he's in training right now. So if you watch any of the World Cup games or the baseball there, he's going to be our catching coordinator. Brian Talati is going to be our head strength and conditioning person. He has worked with every athlete from NBA, Major League Baseball, the NFL, is very qualified to get your kid into shape and get him strong. Mike Sodders is a former player, got up to AAA as a pitcher and as a former manager. So that is our staff so far that we've accumulated in about 6 weeks. So we're pretty excited about the players. This is a big draw for people that are hearing about this. So the School of Baseball and Teams, this is what really, kind of personally brought me on, and really Pat's idea and vision. He used to run some batting cages in Oklahoma and shared some of his vision with me, and that's what got me excited. So I'm going to turn the time over to Pat, let him share the School of Baseball and talk about area scouts. Pat, it's all yours.
Thanks, Chad. Appreciate that. A lot of information tonight. Again, I'll repeat, if you have any questions, put them up in the Q&A. We'll stop as we go through this. If you'd like to speak to us, don't hesitate to either raise your hand. I'll try to see those. We want to answer your questions. We want you to leave tonight with a lot of information, but a lot of answered questions. So at the end, we'll go ahead and have a Q&A session, and anybody can stay on the call and visit with us. We're happy to answer any and all questions. And so why are we different? We're going to start with the base assessment. Now, I'm the state director for Area Scouts, and what that means is that Area Scouts is a player platform that a profile that you can build a profile of your kid. It's actually free to sign up for areascouts.com, and you can sign up for a free player profile. And a player profile is something you can build over time. And so when the college guys and the pro guys start looking at your kid, you have a place where all your stats are and all your data matrix and all these things are. It's like $20 a month to have something like that. Not required by any means with us. But the base assessment is something that we do. Now, this base assessment is an exam of 23 different movement exams. This is Dr. Anthony Azilla over here doing a base assessment. This young man's doing almost a perfect squat. But what we do is we go through these 23 different movement exams and we grade the player. What we believe is that we need to train the athletes. Before we train the athletes, we need to know where they stand currently. Then we can quantify their movements. And when I say quantify their movements, we actually put numbers and metrics and data to each one of these movements so we can see if they are actually improving, or if they need to go see a doctor, or if they're hurt or almost hurt or might be getting hurt, or, we're really all about a health initiative. We want ball players playing without pain. That doesn't go on very often. Kids are always saying their arms are sore. I see it all the time when I'm doing my lessons. And so we want to make sure that that we're taking care of that. And so we do that with the base assessment. So when you come on, whether you're on a team with us or you're part of our School of Baseball, your young athlete's going to go through the base assessment so we can analyze him. We are a complete player and athlete development center, and it's all under one roof. It's over 20,000 square feet. First time Chad showed up there with me, he goes, I didn't really know it was this big. And so it is a big place. There'll be a wow factor. It's actually the design is, as you see in the floor plan, is it's one of the best designs I've come up with. I've had 2 other places. We are a School of Baseball and a sports performance center, and we have teams. Okay, I put on here that we work with kids 8 to 28. In the off season, we'll have pro guys come in, and so it's designed for those guys. They'll come in before spring training, things like that. That's what happened with me in Oklahoma. I also have a program for the littlest of guys, 5 to 7-year-olds. We call those little legacies. And so our motto is building legacies one player at a time. And so that's what that's about. Now, what is a School of Baseball? Like regular schools that teach math and science and English, we teach first base, second base, pitcher, catcher, hitting, and all the other positions. And unlike some places who teach Common Core baseball, we don't teach the myths of baseball. We keep it real simple, and we kind of consider it old school with a good mixture of new school and high tech. Through hundreds and thousands of touches and reps under the watchful eye of a professional coach, or your students will emerge as a ball player. And that's what we like to do there. Up here in the top right, that's some drills that we run outside. These are fielding drills. We start with cones, and after a while, the cones go away. But everything we do is kind of drill oriented. So the School of Baseball continues. We start with the base assessment, like I explained. We follow it by a visual assessment of the ball player. So we do like Chad's been doing for 8 years. We do a scouting report on every player. We call it an on-field assessment. Okay, whether it's hitting or throwing or fielding. Then we look at the mental side, and that's where I'm glad Chad's with us on this because that's going to be a big deal. Most players drop out of baseball because they can't think their ways through it. Okay, they're scared. They don't think they're good enough, even though they might have been. The mental side of the game is very important. What we follow in every lesson, every class, and everything we do is we follow the MVP program. That's a mental, a visual, and a physical side of the program. And we teach those three things at every single practice, every single class that we do. So our daily regimen of training in school enables us to bring along players in a fashion that their minds and their bodies can achieve success at the same time. Our goal, getting to the next level, whatever that may be. Some kids, they're 10 years old and their goal is to be on their Little League All-Star team. That's their goal. That's what they want. Other kids, they're shooting for the high school varsity team. Okay. They're a freshman and they're like, man, I want to be on the high school varsity team. I'll do whatever it takes. They may not make it till they're a senior. It depends on how big some of these programs are. Other guys, they want to get to the major leagues. And I always tell them to be careful what they wish for because I know guys, and that's a tough road. It's hard. It's a big job, but hey, if a kid wants to get there, I'm going to stand behind him until he gets there. So that's what we do there. Now, legacy baseball teams. We'll talk about that for a little bit. Some of you are on here on the call tonight about the legacy teams, and you've already talked to Chad. Many of you have. And so I'm just going to kind of, some of this will probably be duplicated. You probably have heard it. We start with players who want to play the game and develop them, okay, from the ages of 8 to 18. It'll take us a couple of years here probably to get all of our teams filled from 8 to 18 with the 36 kids per age group that I like to have, and I'll explain that in a few minutes. Many groups claim the same stuff. Everybody out there claims that they're a development program. We have a facility to actually get it done. But we believe our School of Baseball with sports performance and our team's program designed after Major League Baseball minor league system is the key. So I have literally studied the minor league system, worked with these major minor league ball players that we've hired, and we are building this just like the Yankee organization or the Red Sox organization or the Pirates organization. It's truly a minor league system. That is why it's private. That's why it's a membership only. And that's why we don't rent out our cages. Okay. From rookies to majors. As coaches, that's our job to place kids on a team that they fit with according to their skill level. Okay. Last thing you want to see is a kid on a AAA team who never gets to play. Okay, he sits on the bench the whole time, gets to play one inning a weekend sometimes. That's not really good. We want to put kids where they fit. We don't cut kids. We play these teams in games. We play them in tournaments and divisions that are appropriate for them. So there's AA and there's AAA and there are majors in most of the tournaments these days. So we want to put the kids where they belong. So it will take us some time to create and build these teams, okay? But it starts with parents like yourselves who truly want their son to develop as a ball player. Now, trophies will come. Okay, I'll say that again. Trophies will come, but they simply aren't the driving factor of what we're doing. My biggest goal is to help young men grow up. I use baseball as a tool for that. But at the same time, I've studied the game for many years. I've done thousands of lessons, like Chad said. I've watched kids grow up. I've been invited to their weddings. Okay, it's some of the greatest things some of my greatest accomplishments are a kid remembering, hey, Coach Pat, and I get a graduation announcement in college. That's really cool stuff. Our program is for all players. We're not just looking for the elite players. We're looking for all players that want to learn this game. A quick little stat for you. 75% of all players that start playing T-ball by the time they're 14 will not play baseball any longer. I think that's atrocious. That's too big of a dropout. So I'm trying to keep kids in the game. Our program is for all players. We hope to have 30 plus kids per age group. This way we can truly have a minor league program for youth baseball. So this is a little team I have back in Oklahoma. This is a Mustang tournament. We win. We got some hardware there. Those are first place trophies. That wasn't why we went to this tournament, although all the kids want to win all the games and all the parents want to do that too. But as I was discussing with these young men after the game is what they were doing right in this game. Okay. This was the last day, so we did have a little conversation this day. And these young group of kids here, I think these were 12-year-old guys, and they really wanted to learn to play the game. And so these guys had some of the best questions I ever had from coaches or from kids. So, and I welcome those questions. All right, legacy teams continue. Legacy Sports Clubhouse is a full access for the players. So if you're on a team, if you're on one of our teams, whether it's a rookie team, a AA team, or a majors team, you have full access 7 days a week to our facility. It is a player's facility. It's for your kids. You can bring them up there. You can drop them off. We're not babysitting, but we'll work them out for the 2 hours that they're there. Teams have 2 outside practices scheduled per week with your coach or manager. Players can attend as many workouts as they want during the week, and we're open on the weekends for the team players. They can come in, get extra work in the gym with one of the strength coaches, whatever they're needing to work on. See, baseball in the minor leagues is really an individual sport or individual work. I talked to Chad about it. He says, yeah, we go in every day and we get our work done. We get our, sometimes we take extra, hits, or sometimes we take extra ground balls, but we go there to get our work done. Then we play as a team. So that's what we're wanting this place to set up. You may not be at team practice. You may come in and jump in a school of baseball class or jump in one of the strength and conditioning sides. But if you're going to be playing baseball, your son, and you want for him to get really good, he needs lots of touches, lots of reps, and he needs it under the watchful eye of professionals. Okay. And there's a bunch of those guys out there, but we feel really strong about the team we put together. Each team player is considered a home run member. Okay. They have access to all of our tech, the hit tracks, the fungal man, the diamond kinetics, the video analysis stuff. Discounts on uniforms will take place because I own the store and I make the uniforms. We'll also have some discounts on some sporting goods. I just become a Rawlings dealer, so discounts on gloves, not free, folks. It's not a big discount, but there are discounts on gloves. There's discounts on bats and things like that. We try to make it cheaper than being, say, online, but you can come in and get your bat. Team players can attend any school of baseball class, camps, clinics, sports performance sessions. Very few things that we would not have them attend. We will have some special non-member events because that's how we'll get more members. So it's kind of a marketing piece right there. We are a business, but we're a business of baseball and we're a business of kids and the youth. And when I say kids, I'm talking 18 and under though. We want players to get thousands of reps. And so that's what the legacy teams in the School of Baseball is all about. Okay, that's my little guy right there. He's 30 now and doesn't look quite like that. He's 6 foot tall. I'm 5'6". He outgrew dad. One of my favorite pictures of him right there. This was at the Legacy All-Stars back in 2001. They were the state champions. But I love this picture because he was into the game. He was actually standing out in right field in this position, I think. And but he had his glove ready and he was ready to play. So he had that little serious look on his face, which was funny because he usually didn't. He's kind of a cut up. So I thought that was kind of cool. One of my favorite pictures. All right, membership startup process. This is how it works out. You sign up to become a member of Legacy Sports, $79.95. Okay, that's a yearly fee. We do the base assessments, $97. That's the first thing you pay for, and then you select a membership plan. All right, here's the membership plans. You can get a single, a double, a triple, or a home run. That's 1 day, 2 day, 3 days, 4 days. The prices are over on the right side there. When you bring your son in, you can drop him off, say 4 o'clock. He's going to go for about an hour in a skills class, and then he's going to go for about an hour in a sports performance class or strength and conditioning, speed and agility, whatever we have for him that day. And so they get those 2 hours. And then, or you can stay and you can watch. It's going to be a comfortable area for you to watch. This is not a warehouse, so it's air conditioned and heated. So we're going to be quite comfortable inside. And so those are the membership plans. And then there's the legacy teams. Legacy teams, are $250 a month. That doesn't include tournaments and it doesn't include the uniforms and things like that. But we also have a nonprofit tied to our company. I'm the president of Sports Clubs of Nevada. And I think our partners on tonight. And so what that will be is to help offset prices of some games and teams. And we're going to be looking for corporate sponsors for that. And we take donations through that program to help out some kids that might need scholarships and things. That's a special thing. If you're interested in signing up early, so before May 1st is what early means, let us know and you get a discount. Now, what this discount would mean, just an example, let's say you signed up as a double. You come 2 days a week, it's $175. If you want to pay for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or a year up front, you would pay 150, but you'd get to come 2 days a week. So you'd get the double package for the single price, the triple package for the double price, the home run package for the triple price. So it's kind of how that works. And so that's some discounts for you if you're interested in that. We're doing that for those first time buyers, so to speak, the guys that sign up early. All right. If you have any questions, you know, start putting your questions in now. That'd be good. And so we don't get overrun at the end here. I'm pretty much done. I'm going to go over this just a little bit more. Again, if you'd like to speak, raise your hand. We have 15 attendees tonight, so I'm sure there's some questions. Don't be afraid to ask any questions. The purpose of this webinar is so we can answer your questions. That's the only reason we're really doing it. You know, other than showing you what we have, we really want to show all this off. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and recap here. I see questions are starting to come in, so I'm going to recap here. Membership-based school of baseball. It's not a public facility. We are all about your kids as members. It's like a country club of baseball. You have access to the top technology, Hit Tracks, Fungalman, Diamond Kinetics, Rapsodo. All these things are big time data processing things. These are things the big leaguers are using. Player development, athletic development with quantifiable results. What does that mean to you as a parent? Some of you may have taken your kids to private lessons, had your kids on teams, and you're like, how do I really tell if my son's getting better? Well, we're going to give you quantifiable results by the number, and we'll see the results on the field. Legacy teams based on MLB's minor league player development system. That is a big, big thing right there. The LSC players will have full access 7 days a week. 12U teams, we'll start taking 12U teams to Cooperstown starting in 2022. And we have 3 coaches on staff that have already been there on multiple occasions. And one guy took second. One of our coaches took second place at Cooperstown, which is a week long of playing baseball. They were 10-1 in a bracket of probably 100 teams. So we've got some experience at Cooperstown. We're going to have a collegiate team. So kids that are over 18 in the summer starting in 2022 to where they can go play in a summer league. So I see a bunch of questions here. So I'm going to turn to this now. When does everything start? Very good question. I like that. It's going to start. We're going to have our first tryouts or introduction. If you're trying out for a team or getting evaluated for a team, it's going to be the week of April 5th to April 10th or 11th. Now, the reason I say that, we don't have the fields yet because I have to wait till March 25th to rent the fields. Just with COVID and everything like that, that's where we are. All the teams are playing. All the little leagues have the fields right now, but March 25th, we'll rent our fields through the month of April. So we'll actually start in April. Now, membership payments and team payments won't start until May 1st. So if you sign up, you come out early, you come to one of these, you come to our tryout in April. You're basically going to get April for free, except for the sign-up dollars that you spend. Okay. 1 second. Let me get a drink. Chad, help me out.
Hey, Pat, mention to them in regards to, we talked about the membership fee of $79, and then we talked about the base assessment fee. Right. Share with them what that looks like when a player comes and tries out for the team.
Okay, perfect. Good. I appreciate that, Chad. So what's going to happen if any of you sign up, and a lot of you have already signed up and talked to Chad, so you've done a player profile. We're going to be sending an email out to all you folks that are interested, and there's going to be a link to that. So the tryout or the assessment that you're coming to, we call it the base assessment or the combine. It's a base combine. You'll pay the $97 for that base exam. Now, we consider this a $499 value because that's what it cost if you went through Area Scouts and just purchased a one-time base exam. Being I'm the state director, I can do these things and discount them out. But when you show up, you're going to get the base assessment for $97, and that's what you'd pay before your kid hits the field. And we'll get the results back to you. The next thing you'd do is you can either pay early and go ahead and start in April. You'd pay the $79 to get into our computer system, cover the insurances and things like that. And then you'd pick your membership plan. And the membership plan payments wouldn't start till May 1st. And even though we don't have the facility that we're inside, we're going to start outside on the fields and get the kids ready to go that are ready, get them practicing with our groups. We'll be having the the fungo man out there. We'll have the sports and performance coach out there, and we'll have our coaches out there. So, all right, Chris asked a question here. Is there a tryout session for the legacy teams? Yes. Okay. So that's going to be, like I said, the first tryout session will be somewhere to be determined between the week of April 5th and April 11th, somewhere during that week, possibly on the 10th, we're looking at in the mornings. When they come out there for that assessment, you're going to plan for about 3 hours on the field that day. About an hour and a half is going to be running all the kids through the assessment, the base assessment, and getting their numbers. We ask these, we want the kids to get their base number because there's a number that goes along with this. And so each kid will have a different base number, kind of ranks them a little bit. So my base number is a 30, my base number is a 24, so it depends on their strength and all this stuff. So that's going to happen that week. We'll probably do these once to twice a week through April after that first one takes place. So yes, there's a tryout session for the teams. Jason asked a question. When does the facility open? Where would the field practices take place? Field practices that take place probably Sunset Park's the closest to our facility. So I'll probably look at Sunset Park, although it's big dirt fields and things like that. But one thing about my coaches, sometimes I've gone out to those fields and they don't look the best and not taken care of the greatest by the city of Clark County. My guys know how to rebuild a field. Every one of them has had to maintain their own fields. Isn't that right, Cole?
Yes.
Yeah, Cole had to maintain his own college field, so we know how to take care of fields, and we have rakes and gloves. So we'll be there or in the Henderson area. As of right now, I've talked to both Henderson Parks and Rec, and I've talked to Clark County, and I'm in a kind of a waiting pattern here before I can actually rent the fields because we're not a league and we're considered a club to them. And so but I have been told that starting April 1st, I'll be able to rent a field, just not 100% where that field might be. The facility, we're hoping the facility actually opens late May, possibly the 1st of June. I've been working diligently every day. This is something I've actually worked on for almost 2 years now, and I've been working on my lease. The lease is signed, the deposits are in. It's all about tenant improvement. If anybody's familiar with building out a new space, we're working on the contractors and the permitting and all things like that. So I did today. They put some banners up on our building. So if you go by 6330, you'll see two big banners up there. One says Legacy Sports. The other one says It's a Hit, because that's my apparel company. And we do make team uniforms and print T-shirts and embroidery and things like that for businesses and high schools and colleges. So, all right. Stephanie, is this Little League based or club ball team based? Well, I would say it's club ball team based. We're not associated with Little League, although we're Little League friendly. If your child wants to play Little League, my son played Little League all that he could in Little League, but he also played club ball. So we're really both. There'll be some kids that are on our club team that don't play any Little Leagues or anything like that. But if a family wants to play Little League, I consider myself Little League friendly. It's not going to hurt their chances of what they're doing with us. But I will tell you this: I believe, and I believe this with all my heart, that the system, the proven system that I'm putting in place for the Legacy Sports Clubhouse with these coaches that we've hired is going to be the development of the players is going to be very quick, okay, because of the programs that we use, and very noticeable with the kids on the field. I want our kids, when we show up at a field, I want parents to see see our players and our coaches and go, we want to go watch that game, just because of the way they handle themselves when they go about their work or about getting to a ballpark. So and we teach them everything. We teach them everything about how to keep their stuff clean, how to keep their stuff taken care of. We teach them some of the history of baseball, like when did baseball gloves start being used, these kind of things. So I actually have another motto. It's like teaching kids more than the game of baseball, but baseball is the center stage. So is this a Little League based or club ball team based? It's going to be club ball team based, but we are Little League friendly. Okay, this is an anonymous attendee. So when will tryouts start for the legacy teams? Again, that's going to be the first week of April, somewhere between the 5th and the 10th. When does the facility open? That's going to be into May, 1st of June. Is everything in Henderson? This facility is in, actually, it's in Las Vegas, but it's very close to Green Valley. It's right down the street from my house off of Pecos. Uh, this is where the facility is at, 6330 South Pecos. That's about Sunset and Pecos. Uh, and yeah, that's where we're at there. So, well, I'm sure we'll have kids come from all over this valley. In Oklahoma, when I work with kids and when we had teams, now it's different because it's Oklahoma. But I was in Edmond, Oklahoma. I had kids come from as far as Woodward, Oklahoma, was 2 hours away, Guyman, Oklahoma, which was 4 hours away, to play baseball with our organizations. So that's something that I think we'll see. I know it's a drive. Sometimes you get around this city 30 to 45 minutes, but I think it's going to be well worth it for the kids if you're across town. Let's see. That's awesome. Thanks. Okay. Stephanie, do we pay monthly fee as well as a team fee? The monthly fee is the team fee. So to clarify it, if your son is in the school of baseball, he would pay a membership fee. If your son's on the baseball team, he's paying a team fee, or actually he's paying a membership fee. And the team fee is $250. And the school of baseball, goes up to 4 days a week for $225. For your $250, you have access 7 days a week. So it is that's the difference between the two fees. So it is a monthly fee, $250 a month to be on a team. Let's see, Miss Vasquez or like Anello. I apologize if I don't get it right. Is there a different price for the games aside the membership? Okay, is there any different price for the games aside the membership payment? Okay, so I think I understand the question. If we go to a tournament and there's a tournament fee, that tournament fee would be divided amongst all the players on that team. So if there's 11 players on that team and it costs $300-400 to go to that tournament, it would just be divided between the team. Now, what we hope to do is get some sponsorships, some corporate sponsorships to help out with tournaments. But if not, the parents of those teams would divide those. That would be divided among those teams. We'll also do what I like to do when I was here before, and I had 7 baseball teams in the past. Back in, let's see, we were 99 to 2002. So we would do what I call pickup games. I would call some of the other club teams and I would just hire the umpires and we would schedule our own games away from tournaments. That way we got to play more games under our control. And that was the club teams that was really trying to make things happen and really develop their players. So that's something we used to do. Let's see. My nose is itching. Mm. Carrie asked a question. There is so needed, and I'm so happy you guys are doing something like. Oh, that's not a question. That's a statement. Carrie, thank you very much. I hope everybody sees it the way you see it. This is something, like I said, I've been working on this in reality probably over 10 years as far as putting it all together. Finding guys like Chad and all the different pro guys that we're talking to is what's really bringing it together. So I believe it's one of the greatest things that's ever going to come to baseball in our city, but also in the country. I've only found a couple of places that are even similar to ours. One's a 40,000 square foot place up in New Jersey. Another one's up in Washington. It's a 40,000 square foot place. Both of those places are owned by big league guys that had good business minds, and they do something similar, but they're still a batting cage. They still allow public people to come in to hit. That's something I don't do. All right, Wade, when are the clinics or camps starting? Okay, as soon as we do, the first thing that's going to happen is this tryout for the teams because we've been marketing for the teams. We get the teams to come out there. The first camp or clinic will probably start in May, and possibly sooner than that. And we may have a weekend. We may have a weekend camp, like a weekend base camp, where kids can come out and get their base scores, and then that could be a way to get into the school of baseball. So that's still kind of up in the air, but by May 1st will be our first full month of the School of Baseball. So, Jason, are there team dues in addition to the membership dues? No, the team dues are $250. That includes that makes you a member. Okay, so the $250 team dues is the same thing as saying $250 membership dues. You are a member of the Legacy organization, no different than if you was a member of the Yankees organization, the Red Sox organization, Pirates organization, something like that. So those $250 makes you qualified if you're on a team to 7 days a week in the facility. All right, let's see. Do the kids have to sign up for the classes every day in advance? That's a fantastic question. We want this to be fairly convenient for you. So let's say you have uh, the double package where you can come twice a week. We ask that you go online through an app. We're going to give you an app. It's called Easy Facility app or the Legacy app. You would go that app. If you're going to come in on Tuesday, we'd like for you to say, I'm coming in on Tuesday. If you can't, if you don't know you're coming in what day, you can show up and we're going to get you in. I imagine in the coming months, though, it'll get really busy. And so we're only going to allow so many kids per hour going through the training. And so we're going to recommend, highly recommend that you do sign up for the classes or the day that you want to come. And that also helps me with the coaches to make sure I'm well staffed. And so last thing we want to do is have coaches standing around doing nothing and all the kids show up on Wednesday. And so we will ask you to do some scheduling. That's really simple on the app. Just you'll go in there and you'll say, I'm coming at Tuesday at 5 and I want to come in Thursday at 6. And maybe that's the same time you come in every week. So depends on what package you have, whether it's a single or to home run. So kind of went through, let's see, more questions. Carrie, okay. So if you're on a team, is it $250 a month for everything? School of baseball, strength and agility, team fees, etc. Simple answer to that question, yes. 250 covers everything, all inclusive if you're on one of our teams. So what you'll get if you're on one of our teams, you're going to get 2 outside practices with a professional coach. You're going to get, then you're going to get 1 indoor practice with that team. Now, outside of that, let's say that team come in on Wednesday. Outside of that, there's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday that you can come in and jump into a school of baseball class. And you're going to get one of our coaches that primarily coach. This is all about skills and repetition and all about getting into the sports performance side. But when a kid comes in, our goal, what we want to do is put them on the sports performance side and then, or put them on the skills side, let them get some workout in, and then go to the sports performance side so Coach Talati can wear them out. And that's what he'll do as he's building them up. So, yes, hope that answered those questions. Let's see. Over here, is there charges for local tournaments? That's under the chat. And Robert, yes, there are charges for local tournaments. They vary. And so the team will split those costs again, unless I have them sponsored. All right. Let's see. Kind of run through those good. Let's see. Here's another question. Do the kids practice with their own age teammates or everybody together? Very good question. It's a little bit of both. Some of the skills things that we do, any age kid can be standing at the fungo man and taking ground balls and doing these skill sessions. Am I going to practice a 15-year-old with a 10-year-old? Probably not. That wouldn't be very good. So we'll kind of split them up inside. Keep in mind, my field space is 8,000 square feet. That's bigger than some people's batting cages that they have. And that's just my field space. And so we are able to take our curtains, and I'll show you here. Let's see. We're able to take these fields right here. This can be all one big open space. Aside from these 4 white things, there's 4 pillars in there, which that's okay. We just put some pads around them. But this can be 8 fields. I can make it 16 fields. I can make it 1 field, 2 fields. And so we'll take very great care of how we're working the kids. I've done this a long time. I've run a lot of camps with a lot of kids, and we'll keep the right age groups with the right. Actually, I don't even look at age groups sometimes. I look at right size of kids with the right size of kids, because I've had some. Well, I had Chris Bryan. He was 8 years old. He was the tallest kid on my 10-year-old team. So he was almost 9, but there's a difference right there. So let's see. Hope that answered that. That was from Vasquez. Okay. Chad, do you have anything? I think I've got all these answered.
Yeah, I'd like to, if we can, we got Cole Farmer on here, Brandon Bayardi, 2 of our coaches. I'd love to hear, like Cole. Cole was one of our first hires. Cole, why did you come on board with Legacy?
Well, I spoke to Pat in January at some point through Area Scouts. And through Area Scouts, I learned about the base assessment. And then they liked my resume, but they were located in Rhode Island, and they told me about Pat in Vegas. So immediately Pat calls me and we talked about baseball for hours. And I like his passion. I like his goals and his vision. And with that, my love for the game, I felt like this would be a good fit. And here I am aboard of this excellent product, and I can't wait to get started.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Cole. Mr. Bayardi, Brandon Bayardi is going to be one of our strength coaches. Brandon, why did you come on board?
Yeah, whenever you hit me up about this idea, man, it just, I love being around kids. I love the idea of helping and developing young ball players into athletes. You talk about this minor league system, and it truly is. It's all designed off of the top level of baseball that there is to compare it to. And I just had to be a part of it, man. Just seeing something this awesome and this unique come into the Vegas market. I just wanted to give back to what I know in the game and strength and conditioning and all of those things, and really just be there to try and help and develop all these young ball players, not only on the field, in the gym, but also just kind of like with life, as Pat was saying. I don't know. It's my time to give back, and this opportunity is just too awesome. I had to be a part of it, man.
That's
Thanks,
awesome.
Yeah,
thanks for sharing that.
Certainly happy to have you, Brandon. So let me look. I want to look at the attendees. Is there any other coaches that I missed? Our CFO's on. He's watching us. Thanks for being on, Mark. I appreciate it. Let's see.
I don't know if you guys saw Brandon, but Brandon will be one of our strength coaches, and our goal is to get all your kids looking like him.
Can everyone? Let me ask you.
He's about 6'2", 220, just shredded.
Stop it, man. Gonna make some monsters out of these kids.
Can the attendees see our coaches here? I don't know. Can someone?
I believe they can only see Pat, who's speaking.
Is that the case? Okay. Interesting. I wish it was different than that. Okay, so Carrie says yes, we can. So Carrie, you can see all the coaches' pictures and stuff. Okay, cool. We record this, and when I watched it back last night, I didn't see all the people. So, but I'm not sharing the screen now, so maybe that's part of it. But anyway, well, folks, it's been about 50 minutes. If anybody has any other questions, I'm happy to stay here and talk about everything that we're doing. I want to share a screen with you. Some of you might have noticed this one picture. This one, it's one of my favorite pictures of some. Let's see. Let's see. Can you see my screen, Ted?
Yep.
Okay. These are a couple of guys that worked out with us. Just kind of a quiz. Does anybody? Well, there's a lot of baseball players out there, but does anybody know these guys? I'm the little guy in the middle, by the way. That's me at 5'6". These guys are leaning over towards me, but anybody know those guys? Do you think teams will be put together in scrimmages and game starts? I want to answer this question Robert asked. We're going to start putting teams together, starting with the first tryout. Teams will go together as soon as we have enough kids in each age groups to create a team. And then we'll probably want to practice an inter squad at least a month to 6 weeks before we start playing games. Okay, before we go spend money on a tournament. So Robert, we'll put teams together. Now, if the kids are coming from other teams, they're actually, if they're already seasoned in tournament ball, it could go faster than that. One thing we don't want to do as Legacy is put kids out there on a field just to go to a tournament. We want to be able to go and compete. And at the same time, we're not about breaking the spirits of players. But it wouldn't be too long after we put them together. I'd give ourselves 4 to 6 weeks to put a team to where they're ready to go play in a tournament and compete. So I hope that answered that question. CC is correct. Okay. CC had won the Warren Spahn Award that year, and then the following year. Since I own Legacy Sports Academy, I was one of the sponsors for the Warren Spahn Award. Harper, no, not Harper. Harper's not quite that tall. That guy's 6'7", standing beside me. He's a pitcher. That's Jamie Wright. He is from Moore, Oklahoma, and Jamie's dad took that picture. We was at the dinner for this. Had Jamie come into the facility all the time in the off season. So I was always seeing Jamie. He introduced me to CC, and I got to be with the VIP group that night. But the funnest part of the whole dinner was after the dinner, we went to the hotel across the street in downtown in Oklahoma City and sat and just talked baseball. And that was one of the funnest evenings of my life, just sitting there with him and Butch, Doc Shane Halls, and oh, and some other guys. So it was a fun night. Ryan Leaf, yeah. So, cool. Well, anyway, baseball's been fun to me. It's been good to me. I've been teaching a very very long time, and so it's what I do full time. It's what I bring to the kids. I've been told by many of my parents, many of my students, that I'm the most patient baseball person they've ever met, and I'm hoping to let that rub off into all my coaches, because I know how some coaches can get. And we've had those conversations in our interviews with these coaches. I think you're going to find that we have the starting staff of our coaches is an all-star team. I can pretty much guarantee that. So we're excited. So if you're wanting to get on a team, you can, you go to our website, and if you haven't filled out a player form, you can do that. You've got info at Legacy Sports Clubhouse here. If you send us a note to that, if you've already talked to Chad and want to reach back out to Chad, all kinds of ways to get a hold of us. And we will be having these calls on Wednesdays or this Zoom on Wednesdays and Thursdays if you want to get back. So yeah, this is recorded. It's going to go out on YouTube, and so you can go back and listen to it if you like. Is there any other questions, folks? Anything else?
Yeah, Pat, there's one more asking, will you have a cap on the amount of players on each team?
That's a great question. I love that. Everybody in town does. Okay. So if you go look up a team on Vegas Valley or something, say, hey, we're doing tryouts. We need 2 players. We want a third baseman and a pitcher. That's not how we do it. There is a cap per team. We'll have 11 to 12 kids on the younger teams. As the older teams start to happen, the 13 and above teams will probably carry 15 players due to pitching, and depends on what kind of, if we're just playing a league games or are we playing tournaments where we need the pitching. So there'll be a cap on that. Will there be a cap on our teams? That's the question's not asked. Let's say I have 50 kids sign up at 10 years old. I will simply have 4 10-year-old teams. Okay. And then those 4-year-old teams will be battling to see who can be on the majors team, the AAA team, the AA teams. Maybe I have 2 AA teams. Maybe I have 2 AAA teams. Probably would not have more than 1 majors team. That would be the best of the best in the group, just like Major League Baseball. Am I going to get notified for the tryouts? Chad, is this someone that you've spoken to, Vasquez?
I don't believe so.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I can't read the first name. Anello.
Is that Angelo? If it's Angelo, I did talk to Angelo.
Okay, last name is Vasquez. If you go to our website and you go to the team section, if you haven't done this already, and fill out the player form, yes, you would get notified. If you haven't done that, you need to go to the website, legacysportsclubhouse.com, go to the teams page, and I'll tell you what, I'll take you to it now so you know what it looks like.
I think, Pat, I think this is Brayon's older brother. Is that right? Are you Brayon's older brother, Angelo?
He can't, he can answer, yeah.
I don't know if you can put it in a chat maybe, but I spoke with him the other day.
Okay. Well, here's where you go. You go to this page. So you go to legacysportsclubhouse.com. Am I still sharing the screen, guys? Okay. And click on teams. And you would just go here and fill this form out, Legacy Baseball Team Tryouts. Once you fill that out, Chad Hermanson will give you a call. And okay, if you've already filled it out, I see that now. You've already filled it out. Yes, you'll be notified with an email, and it will have all the information on that email for you. So, very good question. Yes, it's okay. How am I going to get notified for tryouts? Okay, we'll send you an email on that. And it was Angelo. Okay. And now I know it. Thanks. Okay, awesome. All right. Got a lot of people in here. Anybody else have any questions? Okay. Well, folks, I don't see any other questions coming in. I hope we've answered quite. Okay, here's one more. How often do you have tryouts for club teams? All right, so we will try kids out in the beginning. It'll be 1 to 2 times a week. And as we fill the teams, but the reality is we're always accepting kids into the program. Now, if we're deep into the middle of, say, a league season, we'll be accepting it into the school of baseball. But you know, there's always a tournament season. There's always a league season. But the reality is from the time that Legacy Sports open, we're always going to be accepting players and bringing them in, doing the base analysis, determining where they need to play, and putting them in a team that they need to be on. And if, like I said, if we get too many kids at one age group for a team, we'll just simply add another team, or we'll move some of the major kids. Let's say there are 10-year-old majors. I'll move some of those kids up to 11. It's truly a minor league system. A 10-year-old player could actually play on a 12-year-old team if he had that talent. We're not going to hold the talent back, but we're also not going to push them up to some place they don't need to play. I actually had one parent ask us, hey, I have a little bitty son, and can he play down in age until he learns how to play the game? Because he's just so tiny. But so age doesn't really matter. Size matters. But how often will we have tryouts? In the beginning, it's a couple of times a week up until we open. And then anybody can come in and say, welcome to our front counter, and say, hey, I want to try out for a team. And we'll always be taking on players. So we hope to have 300 to 400 members in the first year. And we hope that more than half of those kids are on a baseball team. The other half of those kids will probably just be part of the school of baseball. So hope that answered that question. Okay, another question here. Is there any other meeting or something similar before the tryouts? That's a good question. Now, we haven't talked about that, but Chad, let's do that. Let's plan a parent meeting prior to the tryout day. Once we get our field set, folks, once I get the field set and I know where we're going to be doing, so let's say somewhere around that, April 1st weekend, I'll put a word out that any parent that's going to come to the tryout that wants to have to get on a Zoom call, and we'll make it a Zoom call instead of a webinar so everybody can talk and you can ask questions. So I'll do that. I appreciate that. That's a great thing. We'll have a meeting. We'll have a parent meeting before the tryouts, just to answer any final questions. So anything else? Racking those brains. Okay. All right. Very good. Well, that's all we have tonight, folks. I appreciate you coming out. Brandon, I appreciate you being on. I know you're a busy man, sir. And Cole, thank you. Appreciate you being on again. Cole's on here every night with us, and I certainly appreciate it. And then, and Chad, I appreciate you for sure, sir. And let's see. Was there anything else here? I don't see any other questions. Do you, Chad?
No, I think we covered them all.
I think we
Good
covered
job.
them all. It's been a great night, folks. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful evening and good night.